Read this one for me. Go. Private life first, public life follows. Say it again so your own soul can hear you. Private before public always. Write this down. The first law of leadership is order. Order means sequence, and sequence decides outcomes. If you get the order wrong, you disqualify the outcome. Take a deep breath. We are going to the engine room today. The question on the table is not how gifted you are, not how many followers you have, not how eloquent your speech might be. The question is this: what private standards protect your public calling? What fences govern you when no one is watching? What non-negotiables written in ink stand between you and the cliff? He who is faithful in little is faithful also in much. That's not poetry, that's policy. Write this down. Little means private, much means public. The test of the platform is passed in the pantry. I came to give you a gift. Behind the scenes rules that keep leaders safe and strong. Not suggestions, not vibes. Laws. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. Your life flows out of what you allow in the dark. Your future is decided where there are no cameras. Read that with me, go. My future is decided where there are no cameras. If that frightens you, good. Fear is offense, not the fear of men, but the fear of God. When you pray, go into your room, shut the door. That's Jesus' teaching. Order door first, then prayer. Secret first, then reward. Private before public, always. Write this down. Non-negotiables are not preferences. They are personal law. Law stabilizes values. Values inform morals. Morals train conscience. Conscience patrols privacy. If you cannot codify it, you will not keep it. We are going to build a system today, clear, simple, enforceable, that cannot be bargained, timed out, or explained away. No, I was tired. No, they misunderstood me. No, it was just a season. Private law cuts the tongue of excuses. Take a breath. Look at me. Stop dreaming about stages if you will not sweep your inner room. Stop planning campaigns if you will not police your cravings. Be sure your sin will find you out. It doesn't say people will find you out. Truth finds you. Reality audits you. Read this together. Reality will audit me. That is why wise leaders live audited before the audit. They draft the rules. They sign them. They hand them to authority. They submit to the reading lamp of accountability. So the flashlight of scandal will never be needed. Trust is the currency of leadership. You do not spend charisma. You spend credibility. You do not deposit talent. You deposit truth. Your number one goal this year is simple. Protect the account. Protect it in the text thread. Protect it in the hotel corridor. Protect it when you book your calendar. Protect it when you are tired, hungry, lonely, angry. Write this down. Private order is cheaper than public repair. It takes years to build a balance and seconds to evaporate it. Do not gamble what a lifetime deposited on a midnight impulse. I'm asking you to decide, before the invitation arrives, before the DM pings, before the compliment flatters, before the crisis pressures, what are the rules that rule you? Who holds the key to your door when your will is weak? What phrases will never cross your lips? What rooms will you never enter alone? What numbers will you never dial after 9 p.m.? This is not paranoia, this is prudence. The wise man sees danger and hides himself. Hide, not out of cowardice, but out of covenant. Order is the courage to flee at the right time. Read this one for me, go. Non-negotiables, now, not later. Write this down. If it is not written, it is not a law. If it is not a law, it cannot protect you. Today we pledge to move from admirable intentions to accountable instruction. From vague promises to verifiable patterns. From trust me to test me. Stop using the term trust me. Demand systems that prove you safe when you are tired, when you are praised, when you are powerful. Take one more breath. This is the aim of our time together. To build, line upon line, a private constitution that guards your calling. To enthrone order over impulse. To enthrone truth over talent. So you can stand in public with a clean account. Private before public, always. Now, pick up your pen. Let's start writing your laws. The word you must learn is a hard word, a saving word. Disqualified. Write it down. Disqualified does not mean ungifted. It does not mean you lost your calling. It means you lost the people's permission to use it on them. Hear me. You can still sing, but they won't buy the ticket. You can still preach, but they won't open their hearts. You can still lead a meeting, but they won't follow your memo. Why? The account is empty. Trust is the currency of leadership. Not charisma, not titles, not history. Trust. When the account is overdrawn, your gifts bounce like a bad check. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. That's scripture teaching economics. Your reputation is the credit line. Your character is the collateral. Protect the account. I will explain it with pictures so you never forget. A sprinter false starts in the finals. The legs are fast. The lungs are strong. The goal was possible. The gun sounds again. Disqualified. The body can still run, but the race is over. Or a pilot who flies like an eagle but drinks like a fool. Skill intact. License revoked. He can still handle turbulence. He just cannot carry passengers. That is leadership without trust. That is what disqualified looks like. Write this down. Gifts impress, character permits. Without permission, your gifts become private hobbies. Public service requires public trust. Read this one for me. Go. If I lose trust, I lose leadership. Again, louder so your bones hear you. If I lose trust, I lose leadership. Do you feel the weight? This is why I shout at you about non-negotiables. Without them, you are one private decision away from public disqualification. Be sure your sin will find you out. It doesn't need a press conference. It finds you. It reports to your board. It informs your children. It updates your followers at 2:17 a.m. in a pixelated video you thought no one would ever see. That is why we write laws for ourselves when we are strong, to protect us when we are weak. Fences are not for enemies, they are for appetites. Law protects you from you. Let me do time math with you, because consequences know the clock. What took 50 years to build can be lost in 50 seconds. 50 years of deposits, punctuality, transparency, clean books, kind words, faithful spouse, guarded messages, honest reports, and then 50 seconds of foolishness, a room, a lie, a wire transfer, a whisper, a late night click, evaporation. Ask any banker. It takes longer to build a balance than to drain it. Write this down. Withdrawals are faster than deposits. That is why your first job is not expansion, it is protection. Stop boasting about growth if you don't have a vault. Protect the account. Now, let me separate mercy from mandate, because some of you will want to hide behind grace to avoid process. Forgiveness is instant because mercy is God's character. If we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive. That is true. And thank God. But listen to me like a father. Forgiveness is not restoration of trust. Do not insult the community by confusing those two. You can be forgiven at the altar and still be disqualified at the office. You can be washed by God and still be benched by the board. Why? Because trust is not gifted, it is tested. Test over time equals trust. Write it down. Stop using the term, trust me. We don't trust words, we trust records. When you fall, receive forgiveness swiftly. Then submit to restoration slowly. Lay hands suddenly on no man. That scripture warning us not to rush public credibility before private repair. Mercy is a door. Restoration is a hallway. The hallway has length. You say, but the Lord knows my heart. Stop it. The people don't lead by ultrasound. They lead by evidence. God may know your intent. We must measure your impact. That's why your non-negotiables matter. They are the rails that keep the train on the track when emotion, pressure, and opportunity try to bend steel. Non-negotiables are not decorations. They are defenses. They are laws you sign in peacetime to survive wartime. Write this down. Fences are cheaper than scandals. A sentence you refuse to speak can save a career. A door you refuse to close can save a marriage. A phone you refuse to carry into a room can save a reputation. Protect the account. I must say it the way it needs to be said. If your private life contradicts your public claims, you are disqualified. Not canceled by haters, disqualified by reality. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. God is not mocked. Systems are not stupid. There are cameras and ceilings and microphones and vases. There are copies of copies of copies. There are children with better discernment than your PR team. Do not play with the account. It is the only tender your followers accept. Let me pass to you with hope and a warning. Hope. No failure has to be final if you submit to order. Warning. Every minute you postpone writing your non-negotiables, you are gambling with the only currency you have. You don't need to be evil to be disqualified. You only need to be unguarded. Samson did not lose his strength. He lost his secret. David did not lose his anointing. He lost his judgment. Peter did not lose his love. He lost his nerve. God restored them, yes, but not by shortcuts. They went through nights and tears and witnesses. Judas wanted a shortcut. He chose a rope. Choose the slow road. Choose the law. Choose the fence. So here is the verdict you must tattoo on your mind. You are only as public as your private laws allow. Write it down. Define disqualified for yourself right now. It is the state in which my gift survives, but my credibility dies. And credibility is the only bridge people will cross to receive your gift. Therefore, protect the bridge. Protect the account. Non-negotiables are the weight limit signs on that bridge. They tell you what cannot pass. They tell you when to stop, reverse, and call for help. Read this one for me. Go. If I lose trust, I lose leadership. Again, if I lose trust, I lose leadership. Now whisper it to your future self at midnight when the text arrives. If I lose trust, I lose leadership. Let the fear of God be a friend to you. Let wisdom build a fence. Then, when the crowds gather and the lights burn hot, you will stand in public with a clean account because you honored the law that guarded you in secret. Now we build the engine that makes those fences real. Write this down. Law produces values. Values define morals. Morals train the conscience. Read this one for me. Go law. Values. Morals. Conscience. Again, law. Values. Morals. Conscience. This is not philosophy. This is plumbing. This is how order moves from paper to bloodstream. The foundation of ethics is law. And law is the source of culture. Conscience is unspoken law. Law is the law shouting at you. Why do you need it to shout? Because temptation whispers. Pressure mumbles. Opportunity hums. But law speaks clear. Whenever you create a law, you've identified a value, so write your laws. If you refuse to write them, you are admitting you don't know what you value. Values are what you choose to lose last. Values are what you will sacrifice anything to protect. If there is nothing you will not break, then everything will eventually be broken. I delight to do your will, O God. Your law is within my heart. That's scripture. Know the order law first, then delight. Desire follows design. Don't wait for feelings to agree with righteousness. Legislate righteousness, and your feelings will be trained by your morals. Let me define terms so they stop floating. Law is the codified statement of what is right and what is forbidden. It is written, clear, and not up for negotiation. Values are the reasons behind the law, the precious things the law protects. Morals are the applications of the law to daily behavior, habits, choices, schedules. Conscience is the internal referee that blows the whistle when you violate the law you claim to respect. Thy word have I hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against thee. Hidden where? Conscience. How? By law turned into values, showing up as morals. Write this down. My private laws interpret my deepest values before the test arrives. Daniel did not invent courage in the lion's den. He wrote a law in his heart long before the decree was signed. Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. Purpose is law language. He codified his diet before the plate arrived. Joseph did not create purity in Potiphar's house. He confessed his law. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? That sentence reveals value God's honor, reveals moral no adultery, and displays conscience, the alarm ringing loud. When you see men and women stand under heat, don't be impressed by the performance. Respect the Constitution you cannot see. So here is your assignment. Establish a personal constitution, not a mood board, a constitution. articles and amendments. 10, 12, 15 laws you will not break for anyone or anything. Write them, date them, sign them, place them under authority. If you love me, keep my commandments. Love talks law. Your constitution is where love for God, your spouse, your calling, your people becomes policy. What might it include? The law of unapproachable money. I do not touch cash. All reimbursements are processed by accounting with 2 signatures. The law of unshared rooms. I do not meet alone behind closed doors with someone I could be tempted by, ever. The law of measured speech. I do not promise what systems have not proven. These are examples. You must write yours. If you don't, your appetites will legislate for you at midnight. Now, culture. Your household and your team need the same chain. Shared laws create shared conscience. If you run a home without law, you create chaos. If you run a company without law, you create corruption. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Every man did what was right in his own eyes. That is the obituary of a culture without codified values. Parents, write your house laws and post them. Leaders, write your teen laws and train them. Every orientation should say, here's what we value. Here are the laws that protect those values. Here are the morals we practice. And here is how we will check our conscience together. Don't leave this to memory. Photograph this page in your mind. Law clarifies, values motivate, morals regulate, conscience adjudicates. Read this one for me. Go. Whenever I create a law, I reveal a value. Again, whenever I create a law, I reveal a value. That's why flattery frightens me. It tries to make me edit my laws. That's why pressure terrifies cowards. It exposes whether the law is ink or pencil. The reason many leaders collapse is not because they are wicked, it is because they are unwritten. Unwritten convictions dissolve in heat. Written convictions harden into rails. The lion's den does not build your conscience, it proves it. When the inbox floods, when the offer is bigger than your last 5 salaries, when the DM arrives with a trap wrapped in a compliment, your conscience will not invent policy, it will consult your law. Stop saying trust me, replace it with read the law. Trust is the currency of leadership, and the law is the vault. You do not protect currency with charisma, you protect it with codes. Test over time equals trust. Times of fatigue, times of fame, times of famine. The law holds you steady in all 3. I will put my laws in their mind and write them on their hearts. That's God's promise. Ask him to write, and then cooperate by writing it yourself and handing it to an authority who fears God. Authority is not there to control you. Authority is there to confirm that your conscience still works. Let me show you how this becomes life. Law turns into values you feel. Values turn into morals you live. Morals turn into conscience you hear. Conscience becomes speed bumps before cliffs. Those laws become daily protocols that close the back door of your life. They will decide how you set your calendar, where you sit in a room, what your phone does at night, which messages your assistant can see, how expenses are recorded, when you go home, and who is allowed to interrupt you. We will build those practical fences, but first codify the law. Write it, read it aloud, submit it, teach it at home, train it at work, audit it quarterly, protect the account. Take a breath and say it with me. Law first, then values, then morals, then conscience. Again. Now whisper to your own soul, write this down. My private laws interpret my deepest values before the test arrives. If you obey this, you will be safe in secret, steady in crisis, and strong in public. God is not mocked. Systems are not stupid. And your conscience, when schooled by law, will be your best friend at midnight. Guard the account. Say it with me. Read this one for me. Go. Protect the account. Again, protect the account. Write this down. Trust is the currency of leadership. And your number one assignment in private and public is to protect the account. You don't spend talent, you spend trust. You don't make deposits with charisma. You make deposits with consistency. Quiet, boring, relentless deposits. That balance is what people lean on when you speak. A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Your name is your credit line. Your habits are your deposits. What are deposits? They are the small, measurable proofs that your law is working. Punctuality is a deposit. Predictability is a deposit. The same story without prep is a deposit. Receipts that match the reports, deposit. An expense report that reconciles to the calendar, deposit. Your assistant can answer a question about last Tuesday and you say the same answer, deposit. The cleaner's invoice equals a check in the register, deposit. You text your spouse at the same times when you travel, deposit. Your browser history can be read aloud in a board meeting without editing, deposit. Trust does not respond to your promises, it responds to your patterns. Write it down. Test over time equals trust. Stop using the term trust me. Retire it. Ban it from your mouth. Replace it with, here is the system. Here are the logs. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. That's scripture. In our world, witnesses are logs, receipts, timestamps, access controls, and third-party audits. We don't want your performance. We want your proof. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Yes is a calendar entry. No is a declined invitation with a record. Leaders who last build systems that speak when their mouths must be silent. If your credibility needs you to explain it, it's already too thin. Shut your mouth and show the records. Let me teach you the formula that will save your future. Write it down. Test over time equals trust. Not event. Not apology. Not charisma. Test over time. Test it when you're tired. Test it when you're praised. Test it when you're broke. Test it when you're alone. A system that survives all 4 climates is trustworthy. This is why I fear leaders who are untested. We don't know you yet. Don't demand trust. Earn it. Trust is slow on purpose. Like compound interest. It grows almost invisibly and then one day it buys a house. People will live inside the house of your reputation if you fund it with daily fidelity. Systems, you need them. Your phone should auto-forward calendar invites to your accountability partner. Your travel requires dual approval, one from your office, one from your home. Your expenses submit through software with 2 signatures and locked categories. Your internal messages archive to an account you cannot edit. Your meetings begin with open blinds and a witness present. Your passwords rotate every 90 days. Your personal assistant is empowered to interrupt you when a boundary is at risk. This is how you say, here are the logs. This is how you protect the account. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Balances and weights are systems and audits. God loves accurate scales. Now, a sober word. Live as if you are observed because you are. If you think turning your phone off makes you invisible, you are already deceived. Cameras are embedded in ceilings you never look at. Microphones are listening in devices you think are sleeping. Metadata remembers what your conscience tries to forget. There is a copy of a copy of a copy of your midnight moment. I sat with a security official once. He smiled and said, if it touched the network, it never died. Jesus said it before the engineers did. Nothing is hidden that will not be revealed, nor anything secret that will not be known and come to light. Let that holy fear be your friend. Do not be paranoid. Be prudent. Behave as if your grandchildren will read the transcript because they might. Every deposit accrues interest. Every violation charges a fee. When you keep your word in the small, your account earns credibility interest. When you lie once, you pay a penalty that takes multiple truthful months to repay. This is why one scandal empties a lifetime of deposits. Withdrawals are faster than deposits. Write it down. That is why you must outpace temptation with structure. Prepay the future with patterns so robust that even if you stumble, the account can absorb the shock without bankrupting your calling. Don't wait for crisis to purchase a vault. Buy the vault now. Put the laws inside. Train the tellers. Check the cameras. Protect the account. Read this one for me. Go. Stop using the term trust me. Again, stop using the term trust me. Say instead, audit me. Observe me. Follow my systems. You cannot claim privacy with what touches your public calling. If you oversee other people's money, your books are public to your board. If you carry other people's hopes, your schedule is open to an authority. If you shepherd other people's souls, your phone behavior answers to elders who fear God. He who walks with wise men will be wise. Walk with the kind of wise who check your logs. What are the daily deposits you start today? Arrive 5 minutes early everywhere for 90 days deposit. Send one weekly transparency email to your oversight with calendar, expenses, travel, and key decisions deposit. Use the same words in every room about the same issue deposit. If you must correct yourself, do it publicly and immediately deposit. Keep your promises, even when it costs you deposit. He swears to his own hurt and does not change. That is Bible. Hurt is the fee you pay now to avoid bankruptcy later. Choose the pain of a kept promise over the price of a broken one. Let me give you a practical challenge. Photograph this page in your mind. This week, implement one new system that creates an uneditable record location sharing with your spouse, automatic receipt capture, meeting minutes signed by 2 witnesses, an open door policy posted in writing. Next week, add another. 30 days from now, your life should be surrounded by truthful mirrors. If someone accuses you, run for cover under the logs. Not under excuses, not under spin, under documentation. Then protect the account like a sentry in the night. I bless you with holy caution and courageous structure. Read this one for me. Go. Test over time equals trust. Again, test over time equals trust. Build patterns that preach louder than your sermons. Logs that defend you better than your friends. Systems that fear God and forget nothing. Then, when you stand in public, your account speaks for you. Protect the account. Protect it in the inbox. Protect it in the airport. Protect it at midnight. And the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now we face the 3 midnight examinations. Scheduled, predictable, mercilessly fair. Read this one for me. Go, appetite, fame, power. Again, appetite, fame, power. These are not electives. They are core courses. Jesus sat these 3 in the wilderness. Turn stones to bread, appetite. Jump for the crowd, fame. Bow for kingdom's power. He passed them with written law. It is written. Write it down. Pre-decided. Written boundaries. Neutralize predictable temptations. If you wait until midnight to write, you are already late. If you improvise, you are disqualified. Trust is the currency of leadership. These 3 tests of the fraud department protect the account. First, appetite, food, drink, sex. The body is a good servant and a terrible master. Paul said, I discipline my body and bring it under subjection. That's law language. So build appetite laws. Number 1, a fasting rhythm. Choose a day, the same day, weekly or monthly, and afflict your comfort, not to impress God. He is fine, but to teach your flesh who is boss. Write this down. Hungry on purpose today prevents hunger on accident tomorrow. Number 2, no substance to numb stress. Not alcohol to mute the pain, not pills you prescribe to yourself, not a secret bottle or a hidden vape, no chemical crutch. Do not be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Spirit. When pressure rises, inhale prayer, not poison. Call your authority, not your bartender. Number 3, 0 pornography policy. 0. Not I'm working on it, law. Install accountability on every device. No private browsers. No midnight scrolling in bed. Move the phone out of the bedroom at night. I have made a covenant with my eyes. Covenant means law. Write it down. The eye gate determines the heart state. Number 4, travel bedroom never shares space with temptation. You do not meet in a hotel room. Ever. Lobby, restaurant, boardroom, with windows. That's where meetings belong. You do not ride alone late with someone who wakes up your weakness. You do not crash on a couch on a trip because the budget is tight. Pay for safety. Fences are cheaper than scandals. Protect the account. Now the sexual fences that save futures. Never alone behind a closed, opaque door with anyone you could be tempted by, ever. Replace wood with glass. Blind open. Light on. Witness near. No late night pastoral counsel. Compassion is not a permission slip for stupidity. If a crisis calls at 11 p.m., you bring another adult. You move to a safe space. Or you schedule at 9 a.m. Document every counseling appointment location, start and end times, summary notes filed. Your calendar is visible to your spouse and your governing authority. Messages that enter your life through DMs, route to an inbox an assistant can see. Abstain from every appearance of evil. Flee youthful lusts. Don't negotiate with them. When appetite whispers, call your authority out loud. Don't text, call. The voice you hear from an authority would drown the voice you hear from the pit. If a compliment lingers too long, if a hand holds too late, run for cover under the law, under the logs, not under perfume and lies. Second, fame, attention, and applause. Jesus would heal a city and then slip away. He did not entrust himself to them, for he knew what was in man. Write this down. Applause is a test, not a transfusion. If you feed on it, you will starve for it. So build fame fences. Number one, never manage your own praise. You are not your testimonials department. Let someone else collect stories of impact and send them once a quarter to your board, not to your ego. Let another praise you and not your own mouth. Number two, you do not read anonymous comments after 8 p.m. Why? Because after 8 p.m., your filters are tired and the soul is porous. Assign a team to gather feedback and send summaries at noon, not at night. Number three, no solo DMs with admirers. Admiration is a perfume. You smell it and pass by, don't drink it. If you must respond, do it from a shared account that two others can see. Number four, when applause rises, shut your mouth and go home. Don't ad-lib your own coronation. Don't add one last story to keep the room. Jesus withdrew to solitary places. Do likewise. Write it down. Leave the stage empty and the account full. If your ego spikes, run for cover. Cover is silence, solitude, and accountability. You say, trust me, I'm fine. Stop using the term trust me. Let your system speak. Protect the account. Third, power, control, and access. This one intoxicates the righteous. You can justify almost anything with its for the vision. That sentence has funded more disqualifications than the devil himself. Power must be fenced. Number one, two-signature finance rule. No check goes out. No wire transfers move without dual approval. One operational, one fiduciary. You do not sign for yourself. You do not approve your own reimbursements. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord. Accurate weights need multiple hands. Number two, never carry cash disbursements alone. If an offering is counted, two people count. In open space with cameras and the deposit slips match the ledger. You do not put donor envelopes in your briefcase. Number three, no personnel decisions without HR or board process. You do not hire your cousin in a panic. You do not fire a critic in a mood. Panels interview. Documentation leads. Emotions are witnesses, not judges. Number four, submit your calendar for oversight. A leader without a supervised schedule is a liability. Your travel, meetings, and private appointments live in a calendar your authority can see and question. They have the right to say, why are you there? With whom? For what? He who walks with wise men will be wise. Walk under wise calendars. Write it down. Access without oversight is a trap. If you hold keys to rooms with money, data, or people, your keys are co-signed. Now hear the crisis cues and memorize them. When your ego spikes, run for cover. When appetite whispers, call your authority. When the applause rises, shut your mouth and go home. Read this one for me. Go, run, call, shut your mouth. Again, run, call, shut your mouth. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Resistance here looks like retreat into law, not debate. It looks like dialing an elder, not drafting a speech. It looks like exiting a party early, not closing the bar with compliments in your ear. Some of you think this is extreme. Yes, it is supposed to be. We are not protecting your reputation. We are protecting the account of trust our people depend on to eat, to hope, to follow. What took you 50 years to deposit can be withdrawn in 50 seconds by one plate, one DM, one unauthorized signature. Pre-decide now. Write your appetite laws. Write your fame fences. Write your power protocols. Date them. Sign them. Hand them to authority. Train your team to enforce them on you. Give your spouse veto power. Teach your children what you value. Law, values, morals, conscience. This is how you pass the midnight exam. Read this one for me. Go. Pre-decided, written boundaries neutralize predictable temptations. Again, pre-decided, written boundaries neutralize predictable temptations. If you live this, you will be safe in private, steady in pressure, and strong in public. Protect the account. When the exam begins at midnight, let your laws answer the questions while you sleep, and the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now we turn from ideas to architecture. Write this down. Your rooms and your phones are either allies or assassins. Control your spaces and devices, and you control most of your preventable risk. Read this one for me. Go. Rooms and phones are fences. Again, rooms and phones are fences. Walk in the light as he is in the light. Light is design. Light is policy. Light is doors and logs. First, rooms. Replace wood with glass. If you carry authority, your office door is glass or has a glass panel. Blinds open during meetings. Lights on. Visible sight lines from hallway to chairs. Meeting zones are opened, not hidden alcoves. If you must have privacy, move to a room with windows facing traffic. Never lock from the inside when meeting with anyone. Read that again. Never. Locks are for after-hours security, not daytime secrecy. Provide things honest in the sight of all. Furniture placement matters. Chairs angled toward the door, not behind it. No couches that invite lingering. Tables between you and the person you could be tempted by. Write it down. Architecture is ethics in wood and glass. Second, meeting protocols. You do not talk in the car in a dark lot. You do not finish a conversation in a stairwell. You do not meet after hours alone. You schedule in daylight with a witness nearby and with time limits. Start and end times are on the calendar. A staff member sits within earshot if the subject is sensitive. The door remains unlocked. The window remains uncovered. If your guest requests privacy that violates your law, you are not the counselor for that moment. You are the usher to a safer setting. Abstain from every appearance of evil. Flee ambiguity. Don't entertain it. Third, travel. Never check into hotels alone on ministry or business trips. Your office books. Your assistant checks you in, and a second set of eyes confirms the reservation, the floor, and the amenities. No connecting rooms. When traveling with team members of the opposite sex, you are on separate floors, not side by side for convenience. Hall cameras, lobby meetings, daytime debriefs. No room service meetings. No robe at the door. If the elevator door opens to isolation and flattery, press G and go to lobby. Write it down. You do not share rides up. You share visible space down. Make no provision for the flesh. Fourth, transportation. All rides are pre-booked by your assistant on a corporate account with receipts. No spontaneous isolation, rides with admirers, donors, or let me drop you doc. Decline with thanks and point to policy. If schedule shift, your assistant rebooks publicly. You don't slide into an unlocked car. Sit in the back right. Keep your bag between you and the door. End calls before entering. Location sharing is on with your spouse and authority. Two are better than one. Let technology be the second. Fifth, devices. Stop using the term trust me. Say audit me. All devices are mirrored to an authority or spouse through a managed account. Delete nothing culture. We archive. We do not erase. Weekly audits of browser histories and DMs are scheduled on the calendar with a witness. Screenshots are stored. Logs are exported. And exceptions are documented. No private mode. No secret email. No unregistered messaging apps. Your work phone stays a work phone. Your personal phone carries the same law. If it touches the network, assume it is eternal. Nothing is hidden that will not be revealed. Let that truth build your policy. 6, Bedtime law. Devices sleep outside the bedroom. Night mode docks in a public area kitchen counter charging station by the front door under the eyes of your household. No scrolling in the dark. No pastoral replies at midnight. No notifications that whisper to your loneliness. If it's truly urgent, the landline or designated emergency ring will sound. Otherwise, you wake with a clean soul. I will lay me down in peace and sleep. Peace often begins with a powered down phone. 7. Documentation. Minutes of private meetings are written, time-stamped, and stored the same day. Attendees, start and end times, location, purpose, and action items. Bullet it, sign it, file it. Counseling sessions use a standard acknowledgement, boundaries, room conditions, presence of a visible door, no physical contact, start, end time. Both parties sign. If someone refuses to sign, reschedule with another counselor present. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word is established. Records are witnesses you don't have to call at midnight. Read this one for me. Go. Control your spaces and devices, and you control most of your preventable risk. Again, if a moment feels fuzzy, run for cover under policy, under glass, under logs. If someone pushes past your fence, shut your mouth, stop the meeting, and invite the authority into the room. You are not rude, you are responsible. Protect the account. Architecture, itineraries, and iPhones can either drain it or defend it. Choose a design that fears God and forgets nothing. Walk in the light, live under law, and the God who sees in secret will reward you openly. Now your tongue. Your tongue is a steering wheel. Write this down. Speech is a safety system. Your words build lanes or they open cliffs. Read this one for me. Go. Truthful, constrained speech protects credibility better than eloquent self-defense. Again, stop using the term trust me, retire it, ban it. Replace it with per policy, as recorded, as documented, as witnessed. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Yes is per policy. No is as recorded. When you speak policy, you stand under law. When you say trust me, you stand on air. Protect the account. Language sets lanes. So legislate your mouth. Here are banned phrases. Trust me, honestly, to be honest, I feel like, when facts are required. Replace them with per the minutes, as the board approved, according to the ledger, as the log shows. Your mouth must point to records, not to your charm. In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking. So reduce words, increase witnesses. Write it down. Fewer adjectives, more evidence. Confession law now. If you violate a line, if you miss a boundary, your sentence is this: I was wrong. Stop, period, full stop. No but, no because, no, you must understand. David said, I have sinned against the Lord. No conjunctions. The prodigal said, I have sinned. I am no longer worthy. No footnotes. Every conjunction after confession is a new sin called self-justification. It depletes the account faster than the original act. Read this one for me. Go. Forgiveness is not the restoration of trust. Again, people may forgive your confession instantly. Your trust account is rebuilt by systems slowly. So confess cleanly. Then submit quietly. Shut your mouth and let the Lord speak over time. Gossip fence. Write it down. Never process crisis downward. Not to interns, not to peers, not in the hallway. Crisis only moves in 2 directions. Upward to authority, inward to a licensed counselor or designated spiritual overseer. Downward is disloyalty. Sideways is infection. Upward is order. When you feel the itch to vent, run for cover. Call your authority. Book the counselor. Pray psalm language. Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. You are not permitted to solicit sympathy from those you lead. You will weaponize their hearts against the process and destroy their trust in the system that must correct you. Protect the account. Social media restraint. Law. No late night replies. If the sun is down, the tongue is tired. Be slow to speak, slow to wrath. Institute a 2-4-hour cooling policy before any public response to critique or crisis. Draft the statement at noon, not midnight. Root it through authority. Let 2 or 3 witnesses edit it for truth, tone, and law. No subtweets, no cryptic laments, no emojis as alibis. Do not let your thumbs do what your conscience would never approve in daylight. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a hasty post multiplies enemies. Write this down. Silence heals, speed kills. Emergency cue. If you are exposed by a headline, by a screenshot, by a witness, shut your mouth. Do not go live. Do not call a press conference. Do not explain away the evidence. Jesus remained silent before accusers because timing and authority mattered. Learn from him. Identify the appointed authority and speak only through them. Allow them to represent you. Allow them to choose words anchored in law, not emotion. Your sentence is, I submit to the process. A statement will be released by our board. That's all. Your silence is not guilt. It is governance. It is how you protect the account when your own mouth is a liability. Train your team in speaking law. Front desk, ushers, assistants, department heads, everyone repeats the same sentences. Per policy, we cannot discuss personnel matters. As recorded in last quarter's report, here are the numbers. Our board will address this at the appropriate time. Unity of speech communicates unity of conscience. Disunity of speech announces chaos. Write it down. Consistent language builds communal trust. Read this one for me. Go. Stop using the term trust me again. Say audit me. Say per policy. Say as recorded. Govern your tongue like a bank vault. Limited access. Strict codes. Time lock releases. If you must speak, speak truth. Speak brief. Speak under authority. If you must confess, confess clean. If you are tempted to gossip, climb instead up to oversight, into counsel. Guard your mouth and you guard your future. Protect the account. And the God who weighs words as well as deeds will reward you openly. If you cross the line, listen to me. This is not the time to perform. This is the time to obey. Write this down. The first rule of restoration is do not justify, do not explain. Own the breach fully. I have sinned, period. Not I was under pressure. Not you don't know what they did. David said, I have sinned against the Lord. And then he shut his mouth and submitted to the prophet. Read this one for me. Go. Failure mishandled is a second failure. Again, some of you lost more trust doing the interview than doing the deed. Your words were gasoline. Stop it. You are disqualified from the platform, not from the mercy of God, but from the microphone, not from forgiveness. Trust is the currency of leadership. You just overdrafted. Protect the account now by ceasing withdrawals. Shut your mouth. Run for cover under authority. Identify a true and reliable authority you will submit to without condition. Write it down. Choose one who fears God, is not impressed by your title, is not on your payroll, and has nothing to gain from your return. They must love you enough to say no and holy enough to say not yet. Don't appoint a fan. Don't appoint a puppet. Don't appoint your publicist. Appoint a father, a mother, a board of elders with backbone. By wise counsel, wage war. This is war for your soul. Give that authority legal and moral right to examine your life, calendar, finances, devices, relationships, narratives. You cannot bring yourself back. The authority has to bring you back. Write it down. Self-restoration is self-deception. Immediate action now. Step down voluntarily. Don't wait to be dragged. Walk down with dignity. Surrender access keys, cards, codes, passwords. Suspend public ministry, management signatures, and private counseling. Relinquish the platform and the press release to your authority. Your sentence is, I submit to the process. A statement will be released by our board. That's it. The scope, the message, the timeline, no longer yours. Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God that he may exalt you in due time. Due time is not your time. Your job now is obedience, not optics. Silence is a discipline. No interviews, no lives, no text to your people seeking sympathy. No quiet coffees with donors to explain the real story. Stop campaigning. Stop asking subordinates to pray with me while poisoning them with your case. That is manipulation dressed as spirituality. Jesus remained silent before accusers because timing and authority matter. Read this one for me. Go. Silence is not guilt. It is governance. Again, your silence protects the account you already damaged. Let the log speak. Let the record speak. Let the authority speak. Protect the account. Now the restitution path. Write it down. Forgiveness is immediate. Restoration is procedural. You will enter counseling, licensed, professional, and spiritual, a plan signed by authority. If addiction is implicated, treatment is non-negotiable with proof of completion. If you mishandle funds, you will repay principal. And if the authority deems interest on a schedule they set with written agreements, if people were harmed, you will make amends under supervision. No private apologies that turn into pressure. Letters are drafted with oversight, delivered at the right time, and filed. Milestones are documented, sessions attended, payments made, apologies completed, classes finished, do works befitting repentance. Your remorse must have receipts. Testing period. Trust returns through test over time. So you accept measurable sobriety and integrity tests. Random, not predictable. Breathalyzer if alcohol was the issue. Hair and urine if substances were involved. Internet accountability reports weekly. No private mode. No unregistered devices. GPS log curfews if travel was a trap home by 10 p.m. For a season. No hotels alone. No rooms without glass. Finances audited externally, bank statements, reimbursements, donor interactions reviewed quarterly by independent auditors who do not owe you favors. Meeting protocols enforced. You never counsel alone. You never sign alone. You never travel unaccompanied. Write it down. Submission is measurable. If it can be logged, it can be trusted. Family order. If you are married, your spouse is prioritized and resourced. Marriage counseling is non-negotiable. They have access to your calendar and your devices. They have veto power over late nights and trips for a season. If single, you submit your relational life to oversight. No secret dating, no late night ministry companionships. The team is trained to enforce, not excuse. Your assistant can tell you no, and you say thank you. Your board can say sit, and you sit. Read this one for me. Go. When corrected, agree quickly. Again. He restores my soul, but he uses rods and staffs, not spotlights and slogans. Do not ask for the microphone. When you feel the anointing while you're sitting on the back row, good. That's healing. That's not timing. David could kill Saul and take the throne, but he cut nothing but a piece of cloth and repented for that. Learn the fear of God in the cave. Peter wept bitterly, then waited until Jesus asked 3 times, do you love me? Before he said, feed my sheep. Paul warned, lay hands suddenly on no man. The hands that bench you will be the hands that time you. If they say, not this year, it means God is still protecting the account. Stop saying, trust me, I've changed. Stop using the term, trust me. Say, audit me, test me, observe me. Let your systems preach your repentance. Practical enforcement. Your email has an auto reply directing ministry requests to the office. You do not host unsanctioned gatherings in the living room to keep momentum. You tithe your time to service without titles, door holder, food pantry, janitorial rotation, so your soul remembers you're a son, not an idol. You attend training you once taught. You read what the board assigns. You show up early, leave quietly. No green rooms. No head tables. No quick testimonies. God is not punishing you. He is pruning you. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Return governance belongs to the authority. Only they decide readiness. They may restore you partially first serve, then assist, then lead a small team, then maybe platform with clear announcements, boundaries, and reviews at set intervals. If the breach was severe, they may never restore you to the same seat. Accept that. Write it down. Restoration is not entitlement to former positions. Restoration is right standing with God and community under law. If your chair is different, your calling is not diminished. Your stewardship has been redefined. Protect the account by loving the fence that saved you. Read this one for me. Go. Restoration is external, structured, and slow submission is the door back. Again, if you embrace this, there is hope. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. He will. Humble yourselves, and he will lift you up. He will. The light that exposes is the same light that heals. If you cross the line, run for cover. Shut your mouth. Find authority. Obey the protocol. Make restitution. Pass the test. Wait your due time. And the God who weighs motives and measures months will, through trusted hands, reopen what your pride once slammed shut. You will lead again, not by demand, but by deposit. Not by charm, but by charts. Not by trust me, but by as recorded. And you will be safe in public because you chose to live under law in private. Protect the account. God will reward you openly. We have dealt with the individual. Now we build the house. Write this down. The safest leader is carried by a safe culture. You cannot outpreach your structure. You cannot outpray your protocols. And you cannot outrun your records. Read this one for me. Go. A culture with clear laws and real enforcement protects leaders from themselves. Again, set in order the things that are lacking, Paul told Titus. Order is culture made visible. Walls, windows, locks, logs. Unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. And the Lord builds with law that shapes values, that become morals, that form conscience. So we write the law. First, write the code. Publish the private life standards, not whispered expectations, not we all know. Law. Put it on paper and on walls. Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. A one-page code of private conduct for all leaders. Rooms, phones, doors, travel rules, speech laws, restoration protocol. Photograph this page. Every staff, elder, volunteer, photograph it. Quarterly, we train it. Not optional. Roll call signatures, case studies, role play. We don't assume memory. We construct muscle. Read this one for me. Go, what is not written is not culture. Again, if it's not written, it's opinion. Opinions don't protect the account. Law does. Second, assign roles. Culture fails where roles blur. So we appoint companions, watchers, treasurers, and HR as law enforcers. Companions. No leader moves alone. Drivers, assistants, armor bearers, call them what you will, are trained as guardians, not fans. Their job is visibility, timekeeping, and gentle interruption. They knock on doors at minute 49. They reroute hallway conversations to glass spaces. They book rides on the record. Write it down. If I am alone, I am at risk. Companions are policy in shoes. Watchers, the audit team, they hold the keys to logs, not to gossip. Weekly device audits, monthly travel compliance checks, quarterly counseling room spot checks. They report to authority, not to popularity. Treasurers, two-key rule. No single signatory on expenses, gifts, reimbursements, or benevolence. Like a vault, two keys turn at once, request and release, separate hands. The same for contracts and honorariums. Initiator and approver are not the same person. Not hugs and refreshments. Human resources as holy restraint. Their charter is policy enforcement, disciplinary steps, and documentation. They are empowered to pause a leader's access when a breach occurs. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word is established. Roles provide the witnesses before midnight comes. Third, establish rhythms that keep you. Daily examine. 5 minutes a day's end with God and a checklist with yourself. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me. 3 questions. Did I honor my space laws? Did I speak under policy? Did I move with a companion? Check. Note. Adjust tomorrow. Weekly Sabbath. Commandment, not suggestion. 1 day with devices docked. Meetings closed. Family and worship prioritized. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Tired leaders make reckless leaders. Sabbath protects the account by limiting withdrawal, quarterly retreat, values recalibration. 48 hours with the core team and the board representative to read the code, review the breaches, celebrate the deposits, and reset the protocols. Jesus withdrew often. You can too. Write it down. Rest is offense. Reflection is offense. 4th, Metrics. Trust is the currency of leadership. So we need a statement, a ledger. Track deposits. On-time reports filed. Counseling logs completed. Travel compliance met. Device audits passed. Training attendance recorded. Build a dashboard. Green, yellow, red. Green is deposit. Yellow is risk. Red is breach. Read this one for me. Go. Test over time equals trust. Again, stop using the term trust me. Say, here is this quarter's audit. Month end, the watcher sends the trust account statement to the authority and the board liaison. 5 metrics with notes and evidence. Not to shame, but to shield. What you measure, you tend to maintain. What you ignore, you lose. 5th, consequences pre-authorized, not improvised. Write it down. Discipline decided in peace prevents chaos in crisis. Build a response tree before a name is attached. Example, first, late counseling, log coaching, and a 2 4-hour fix. Second, within 6 months, formal write-up and mandatory retraining. Third, temporary suspension from counseling with pay pending review. Boundary violation, unsupervised closed-door meeting, immediate suspension from all one-on-one meetings for 90 days with public acknowledgement of policy failure and retraining. Financial irregularity over threshold amount, external investigation, restricted access, possible restitution plan, evidence of sexual misconduct, instant removal from platform, appointment of independent investigator, pastoral care for all parties, and initiation of restoration protocol if repentance is present. No case-by-case favoritism. God is no respecter of persons. The same law for the senior and the intern. If you are a donor, the law is the same. If you are a celebrity, the law is the same. Read this one for me. Go. Favoritism is corruption. Consequences are covenant. Again. 6, board alignment. An independent board with spine is the roof on your safe house. Their charter is to suspend, investigate, and restore, not to applaud. They are not on your payroll, not on your speaking circuit, not dependent on your favor. Choose elders who fear God, love truth, and understand systems. Give them legal authority in your bylaws to enact the response tree without your consent. They appoint the watchers, hire the external auditors, and approve the HR policy. They meet in executive session without you to review the trust account statement. If they say sit, you sit. If they say speak, you speak what they approved. Obey those who have the rule over you, for they watch for your souls. Give them real rule, not ceremonial chairs. 7, train the house to talk like law. Quarterly, we drill, mock audits, simulated breaches, phone scripts at the front desk. Per policy, we cannot discuss personnel matters. Ushers trained to guard doors with kindness and clarity. Assistants taught to interrupt with honor. We are at our time, and per policy, we must conclude. Department heads rehearsing crisis lines. A statement will be released by our board. Read this one for me. Go. Stop using the term trust me. Again, say audit me. Say as recorded. Everyone from parking lot to platform speaks the same sentences. Unity of speech signals unity of conscience. It's not public relations. It's public righteousness. Finally, celebrate the culture you build. When an assistant stops a meeting at minute 50, applaud them. When a watcher's report returns green, bless them publicly. When HR enforces a hard consequence on a beloved leader, protect them with your gratitude, not your grumbling. Those who rule well are worthy of double honor. That includes those who rule you. Write this down. Fences are friends. Laws are love in public. You are safer than your charisma when your house is stronger than your hunger. Protect the account by building a house that fears God, publishes law, trains without ceasing, measures what matters, disciplines without partiality, and submits to a board that will save you from yourself. Walk in the light. Live under authority. And the God who sees in secret will reward this house openly. Take a deep breath. Read this one for me. Go. Reality will audit you. Lead as if the audit arrives today. Again. Write it down. There is a day called today, and it is always watching. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. That is the first camera. The second is in the ceiling, in the hallway, in the lobby, in the elevator. The third is in someone's hand, on, off, doesn't matter. The room remembers. Trust is the currency of leadership. Reality is the bank examiner. Protect the account. Look in the mirror of a city. A big city mayor sits under lights, headlines, screaming, council begging, staff resigning. The act was bad, yes, but denial was the disaster. I watched the broadcast networks run the same clip on repeat, a montage of I did not, becoming I might have, becoming will. Everyone makes mistakes. Every sentence withdrew another million from the trust account. He refused to step down. He multiplied the damage. Write it down. The sin was one withdrawal. Denial is compound interest in reverse. Be sure your sin will find you out. If he had sat down, shut his mouth, and submitted to authority, his city could have healed. Instead, pride extended the scandal's lease. Don't be that mayor. When the light comes on, don't curse the bulb, honor the law. Now look in the mirror of stadiums. Medals shine on the podium. Anthems rise. Cameras flash. Years later, lab tests reopen. Sealed vials. Science catches deceit. Committees convene, and a courier quietly collects the gold. Applause reverse. Banners reprinted. Record books edited with asterisks. Athletes who trained honestly stand at a mailed ceremony of justice and cry without the crowd. Time can reverse applause. Only integrity is non-reversible. Read this one for me. Go. Test over time equals trust. Again, stop using the term trust me. Say audit me. The finish line is not the day you cross it. It's the day truth is done with you. Protect the account. Workplaces tell the same story. Cameras never blink. Servers keep logs. Texts live on clouds you cannot reach. Delete is a prayer that heaven does not answer. There were witnesses you forgot. Janitors, Uber drivers, hotel clerks, people you didn't greet, who watch you greet trouble. I was told by a national security officer, assume the room is live. I wonder if there's a video on you. I wonder if the hallway had ears. Live as if the answer is yes. Live like your grandchildren will press play. For God will bring every deed into judgment with every secret thing, whether good or evil. That is not to terrify you. It is to keep you alive. The fear of God is your friend. It is the fence around the cliff. It is the hand on your shoulder at midnight saying, go home. Take another deep breath. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Fear of God produces boldness, not paranoia. Paranoia hides. Covenant stands. Don't become suspicious of doorknobs and paralyzed by cameras. Become a man or woman of covenant who welcomes the audit because your life has been placed under law. Write it down. Live as if the investigation is already scheduled and you plan to serve tea to the auditors. When your calendar is lawful, your devices are logged, your meetings are glass, your speech is per policy, you sleep. He makes me lie down in green pastures. Order is a pillow. Protect the account. Let me ask you a few sobering questions. Answer them with your conscience. If your last 30 days were printed as a ledger, would you sign it publicly? If your private text to explain your side were read aloud to those you lead, would you blush or bow? If your travel receipts were matched with your geolocation at 11:47 p.m., would the numbers agree with the narrative? If the person you blocked because they misunderstood you released the thread, would the timestamps bless you or indict you? I wonder if there's a video on you. Better question, would that video find you living under authority? This is not to shame you, it is to save you. You have been weighed in the balances and found wanting, said the prophet to a king. That was a sudden audit. Don't wait for handwriting on a wall. Choose handwriting on a policy. Choose witnesses in your calendar. Choose glass in your doors. Choose assistants with courage. Choose a board with spine. Choose to speak as recorded. When you live like that, you stop fearing cameras. You start fearing God, and the fear of God drives out the fear of exposure. It takes longer to rebuild it than to build it, but it is possible when you stop performing and start obeying. Here is the pivot. Let the warning produce a covenant, not paranoia. Covenant says, these are our laws. These are my non-negotiables. This is my authority. Paranoia says everyone is out to get me. Covenant builds fences. Paranoia builds walls with no doors. Covenant invites audit. Paranoia avoids people. Read this one for me. Go. Reality will audit you. Lead as if the audit arrives today. Again, write it down. Prominence without prudence is a trap. Prudence under authority is a fortress. Walk in the light. Fear God. Embrace the cameras as reminders that heaven is watching and your grandchildren deserve a clean story. And when the audit comes today or 10 years from now, may it find you saying, as recorded, not trust me, protect the account. God will reward you openly. This is the moment of covenant. Take a deep breath, write it down, and then we will read it aloud like law. Read this one for me. Go private before public. Trust is the currency of leadership. Protect the account. Law to values, to morals, to conscience. Again, this is not poetry. This is policy. This is not inspiration. This is instruction. When you codify it, you give your future self a fence. Bind it on your fingers. Write it on the tablet of your heart. We are not guessing anymore. We are governing. Now the vow. Say it with me in your spirit and write it in your hand. I make a covenant before God and witnesses that my private life will always precede my public life. I will live under authority. I will pre-decide my boundaries and publish them. I will not say, trust me. I will show my system. My rooms will have glass. My devices will be logged. My meetings will be timed. My money will be too key. My speech will be truthful and constrained. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. If I cross a line, I will shut my mouth and submit to the process. I will not justify. I will not explain. I will not campaign. I will comply. Read this one for me. Go. Stop using the term, trust me. Again, say audit me. Say as recorded. 3 daily prayers will keep this covenant alive. Write them down. Number 1, wisdom to see. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives liberally and does not reproach. I will pray each morning, Lord, show me danger in daylight. Expose the trap before my foot moves. Number 2, purity to choose. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. At midday I will pray, Lord, align my appetites with your law. Make holiness my habit. Number 3, courage to obey. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you. At night I will pray, Lord, give me the spine to act on what I know. Make me quick to submit, slow to speak, ready to be inspected, wisdom to see, purity to choose, courage to obey. That is your daily fence. Community seal. Now, a covenant without witnesses is a wish. Share your non-negotiables with your authority, your spouse, and your core team. Print them, sign them, date them, have them sign and date. Take a photo, file it in the board minutes. Place a copy in your office where visitors can see it and your children can ask you about it. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word is established. This is how law becomes values. Values become morals, and morals become conscience. When your conscience hears signatures rustle, it chooses right under pressure. Stop being a private leader. Become a covenant leader. Publish, invite audit, protect the account. Now, the commissioning charge. Read it with me in your heart and take it as marching orders. When you feel strong, run for cover. Stay small under law. Resist the applause. Hide in order. God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. When you feel weak, call for help. Text your authority. Knock on your companion's door. Drag temptation into the light before it matures. 2 are better than 1. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. When you fall, shut your mouth and submit. No interviews, no explanations. I have sinned. Then obey the protocol. In due time, he will restore your soul. Read this one for me. Go. When you feel strong, run for cover. When you feel weak, call for help. When you fall, shut your mouth and submit. Again, I bless you now, not with celebrity, but with safety. May the Lord set his fear like a guard at your midnight, his wisdom like light on your calendar, his holiness like a firewall on your devices. May he station companions at your doors, watches at your logs, and elders over your timing. May your home be filled with laughter that comes from clean conscience, and your platform carry the weight of tested trust. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Peace is order. Order is safety. Safety is the womb of influence. We close with our cadence. Read this one for me. Go. Private life first. Public life follows. Protect the account. Again, write it down. Make your non-negotiables a public covenant and live them under authority. Then lead with a clean account. No, trust me, only as recorded. Walk in the light. Fear God. Obey the law you wrote. And may your grandchildren rise and call your name blessed, because you chose fences over flashes, submission over spin, and covenant over charisma. Protect the account. God will reward you openly.